Wealth Building Secrets from the Bible by Jonathan Gerasi. Chapter 1, Biblical Wealth. We sat down and started looking at the financial reality. That started the tears. They realized that they were spending $4,000 a month, even though they were only making $1,000 a month, and they acknowledged that they were in trouble. For the first time in their lives, they realized that they were drowning financially. Emma and Ethan have a major problem that is the number one cause of divorce: money. The average rate of divorce in America is 50%. How about you? Are you willing to make a change in your habits that could stabilize and increase your wealth? And when I show faithfulness in finances and keep investing month after month, I will be able to live my retirement dreams. The principles in this book are taken from scripture, but they are universal principles that, if applied, will affect everyone and everything you come in contact with. You need to make a choice. Quit sitting on the fence. Chapter 2, Why Be Wealthy? A steward is someone who watches over and takes care of a resource for someone else. We constantly make excuses for indulging our desires. We forget that our money is not really our money, but God's money. If God audited our personal finances, which are really his finances, what would he find? Whatever your hands finds to do, do it with all your might. God is calling us to have a good work ethic. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Rabbi Lapin comments, if you do a good job, people will reward you with certificates of appreciation called dollar bills. The more excellent your job, the more you will be rewarded for your effort. Tom Corley says, passion trumps intelligence, so pursue your passion. What would financial freedom look like for you? It means you can take an internship that doesn't pay well, but will give you more life experience. The fruit of the Spirit is love. The fruit of the Spirit is joy. If you consider the joy of financial freedom, what would it look like to you? Maybe it's being able to pay for your kids' college education. Maybe it's saving for retirement. What is the joy you want to experience in financial freedom? Maybe it is the joy of giving to others, which is the most incredible joy that I have ever experienced. And doing it anonymously will increase the spiritual rewards. The fruit of the Spirit is long suffering. Some Bible translations say patience. The fruit of the Spirit is kindness. This can be described as usefulness. The fruit of the Spirit is goodness. This can be defined as an attitude of generosity. It is going the extra mile. The fruit of the Spirit is self-control. What would happen if I practice self-control in my finances? Discipline equals freedom. The more disciplined I am with my finances, the more I can give and the more freedom I will discover in my life. When I can do that over the long term, it's called early retirement. The Bible is full of stories about wealthy people who use their riches to be a blessing to other people. One of the oldest books in the Bible, the book of Job, documents the life of a wealthy man who lost everything. Even his closest friends turned against him, yet he remained faithful to God, the universe. Job was not defined by his possessions, and his sufferings and trials were a witness to those around him. Abraham of the Old Testament was a wealthy man with many flocks. As an offering to God, he gave his first fruits, the first of what he had been given. This is the first time in the Bible that tithing is mentioned, returning 10% of your income to God. By giving tithe, Abraham acknowledged God as the central aspect of his life. He had a generous spirit, which is one of the keys to building wealth. Wealth didn't change the character of these people, as some believe. It only revealed even more the people who they really were inside. Chapter 3, Money Myths. It's evil. According to Francis Bacon, money makes a good servant but a bad master. I know rich people who are distracted by their money and it takes them away from their walk with the universe. I know not so rich people, even pastors, who are distracted by the struggles with managing money, and it always affects their walk with God. The media loves to tell us that all rich people are the same. This all of nothing mentality is a psychological distortion. All rich people are jerks. Have you met rich people who are jerks? I have. Have you met poor people who are jerks? I have as well. Money seems to reflect the character that is already there. God doesn't hate rich people. He hates greed, pride, and selfishness in people. Jealousy. People love to be jealous of what others have, but they usually don't covet the work that it took to get to that place. Why are people jealous of wealthy people? Because it provides an excuse to be lazy and not take personal responsibility. Success comes when I take personal responsibility for my actions. Taking personal responsibility is uncomfortable. It's always easier to blame someone else, but I've learned that if you follow these simple biblical principles, this wealth building wisdom can change your financial destiny. Fear of losing. The stock market is like that. If you focus on the daily gains and losses, you might have to up your heart medication. But if you invest wisely, then step back and look at the 5 and 10-year track record, you will sleep better at night. When it comes to finances, we have a large number of choices. Should I buy that new pair of jeans that looks so good on me? Should I save for my kids' education? When it comes to investing, it's a mental overload. Should I go with mutual funds, stocks, private equity, Bitcoin? With too many choices, it's easy to get overwhelmed, stall out, and do nothing. When we get to the savings chapter, we will talk about investing strategies that will keep you from feeling overwhelmed. Fear of missing out. Proverb 28:22 tells us that the quickest way to poverty is trying to get rich quick. Warren Buffett says you need to be fearful when other people are greedy and greedy when other people are fearful. It's so easy to get caught up with FOMO, the fear of missing out. When we apply FOMO to our finances, we will lose money. We need to do careful research on what we invest in rather than make decisions based on emotions. Fear of the last days. Why do we hear so much about the housing market crash, the stock market crash, the economic crash, and every other crash? Simple, because fear sells. The Saving the Crumbs blog, Alistair Hung, gives 3 reasons for not using the stock market to predict the end of the world. Number 1, forecasting the movement of the stock market is foolish. 2, forecasting which crash will be the last is doubly impossible. 3rd, the Bible tells us to stop trying. Identify your fears. You should define your fears instead of your goals. That advice is from Tim Ferriss in his Ponius TED Talk. Every month, Tim Ferriss does a fear setting exercise instead of goal setting. Here's a simple guide to fear setting. Take out 3 pieces of paper. First, ask yourself, what do I fear? Is it asking someone out, quitting my job, asking for a promotion or raise, taking a vacation? Then decide the worst case possible. Write down 10 to 20 things about this question that make you afraid. For example, taking vacation. One fear might be that it would rain and you would be depressed throughout your trip. Another fear might be that you would miss an important letter and they would shut down your business. Title your next column, Prevent. List all the things you can do to prevent those awful things that you imagine might happen. The 3rd column is Repair. If the worst case scenario happened, how could you repair the damage, or to whom might you go for help? On a 2nd piece of paper, write down the question, what would be the benefits of an attempt or a partial success? On the 3rd piece of paper, write down the cost of inaction. What would be the cost of your inaction in all areas of your life, emotionally, physically, financially, not only right now, but also 6 months, 1 year, and 3 years from now? The challenge. What are the fears that are holding you back from fully living the life God has for you? Chapter 4, secret number 1, contentment. Wealth is viewed from a holistic perspective in the Hebrew mind. It not only includes money, but it includes physical strength. Rachel Cruz says, we need to quit the comparisons, reframing the way you think about money and developing new habits like avoiding debt, living on a plan, watching your spending, saving for the future, having healthy conversations about money, and giving. Purchases are often made not because of need, but because of want. If I am buying something to impress someone, it will never work out. Ask yourself why. Why do you want that purchase? Why do you need it? Why is it important? Why would you do that? If you ask multiple times and explore all the layers, eventually you will get to the root reason. In her book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, Marie Kondo talks about the blessing of simplifying. If your wealth increases, don't make it the center of your life. Who controls who? Money makes a good servant, but a poor master, and money can't control you no matter your income level or the number in your bank account. Those who seek only to acquire money will never be satisfied with money. The wise person invests in things that have lasting value and focuses on more than just a temporal want. But a foolish man spends what he has and then wonders where it went. When we realize how much is enough, budgeting becomes easier. When we realize that it's not about how much we make, but about how much of that we can invest and give, it changes our financial outlook. There are a couple of things I've found that make budgeting easier. Number 1, there's an app for that. From everydollar.com to mint.com, there are a lot of options to choose from. Number 2, pay yourself first. If you are in debt, you need to pay off your debt first. 3, automate your life. I personally automate my bills so I never forget to pay them. Number 4, pay for everything with cash. When you pay with cash, you will spend less. In his book, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, Tom Corley encourages each reader to write a letter to his or her future self. Where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years down the road? Write it down in third person. Dream about where you want to be and write down goals to support those dreams. The challenge, stop for a minute and dream. What would financial independence look like for you? Do you want to travel the world, live in a debt-free home, retire early? 2, what would it take for you to get there? What goals can you set right now? 3, what must you change in your life to meet those goals? 4, what daily habits do you need to follow to achieve your dream? Chapter 5, secret number 2, freedom from debt. Many people find that the best way to get out of debt is through plastic surgery. You need to cut up those credit cards. When you pay cash for something, you will spend less money. Often a response to that suggestion is, but I get points. Have you heard a wealthy individual say, I built my wealth through the point system? A credit card company realizes it will be making money or else they wouldn't offer you their card. Staying out of debt requires self-discipline. Debt consolidation programs don't work. Consolidation is when you roll all your debts into one larger debt. Many times a low interest rate is promised. You haven't really changed anything, but you feel good about lower payments. Statistics show that 80% of people who use these services will go back into debt. In his book, The Wealthy Renter, Alex Avery presents the unique idea that you will get ahead financially if you rent instead of buying. It does take self-discipline to invest the money that you normally put toward the house. Financial freedom gives you freedom in every area of your life. Financial freedom gives you the ability to make choices. Financial freedom allows you to be generous with your time and money. Dave Ramsey has the best methodical plan to get out of debt. Check out Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover. Here are the baby steps that Ramsey recommends. 1, $1,000 to start an emergency fund. 2, pay off all debt using the debt snowball. 3, put 3 to 6 months of expenses in savings. 4, invest 15% of household income in pre-tax retirement. 5, college funding for children. 6, pay off home early. 7, build wealth and give. Debt snowball. Start with the smallest debt first and pay it off. Then go to your next smallest debt. The logical approach would be to pay off the one with the highest interest rate. You get the psychological win when you pay off the smallest debt first. You can write it off forever and not have to go back to it. Chapter 6, secret number 3, faithfulness. Slow and steady wins the race. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, that will lead to you becoming broke. Whining is a sign of a lack of character on your part. Dave Ramsey. Showing up is 80% of life. Woody Allen. In the book Disrupt You, Jay Samit says, live a few years of your life in a way most people won't so that you can spend the rest of your life living at a level most people can't. When applied to your financial life, this principle of self-sacrifice means that you are consistently saving toward that emergency fund or maybe that early retirement dream. You're putting off what feels good now so you can enjoy your long-term goals. Other people would say you are adulting it, not acting like a child. Slow and steady wins the race. Live on less than you can make, and you will be amazed at the results of your diligence. If you invest 10%, you will be able to retire in 51.4 years. If you invest 25% of your income, you can retire in 31 years. If you invest 66% of your income, you can retire in 10 years. What's the key? Living on less than you make, realizing how much is enough. Interest is bad when it is on a credit card bill, but it is awesome when you are building wealth. Set it up on autopilot so you don't even have to think about it. The principle here is to start early and invest often. In Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, it says that 80% of self-made millionaires became wealthy after the age of 50. In The Millionaire Next Door, it says most millionaires take 18 years to reach their first million. 4 strategies for investing. 1, know your risk tolerance. 2, know what you're investing in. 3, diversify. 4, set up your investing to be automatic. If you want to master any skill, whether running, exercise, or cooking, one of the fastest ways to reach your goal is to pay for a coach, according to Robert Greene's book, Mastery. Chapter 7, secret number 4, generosity. When you plant the smallest, you will reap the smallest. Chris Anderson's book, Free, suggests you look at some of the today's largest companies that are successful because they give stuff away. Facebook and Google have given their main platform away for free, and yet they have reaped huge rewards. Free Wi-Fi at coffee shops, yes, the easiest way to make money is to give it away. The world gives to givers and takes from takers. We see this in the story of the parable of the talents. John Wesley once commented, make all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Omar Reddin's book, Give and Grow Rich, says, every rich man I know is generous. Generous with his money, generous with his time, or generous with the wages he gives. Rich men know that the key to getting rich is giving. Chapter 8, the launching pad. This is not the conclusion, as you may find in some books. This is merely the beginning of you handling God's money differently, the beginning of realizing what is enough, the beginning of getting out of debt, the beginning of being diligent and making long-term plans with your money, the beginning of being generous. This is the beginning of discovering biblical wealth. Each of these money habits is interconnected. If you give without planning for retirement, you will get into trouble. If you realize what is enough and yet are not generous, you will not have a satisfying life. Congratulations. You have made it where some people never go. Many people never get to the end of the book they start, but you have. What is wealth? It is realizing what is enough. It is getting out of debt and then investing for the future. Where do you go from here? The average millionaire reads one nonfiction book a month. Book recommendations. 1, The Richest Man in Babylon. 2, The Total Money Makeover. 3, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. 4, Retired Inspired. 5, The Compound Effect.